Jonathan Hoffman, I'm also a blogger. I'd like to ask the panel one thing, and also maybe Mr. Cadman, and that is the panel has not mentioned the statement by Abu Mazen about 8 weeks ago that Jews should not put their filthy feet on the Temple Mount. And you can directly correlate that statement to the stabbings of Jews that have happened in Israel. Around 40 or 50 Jews have been murdered by stabbings or by cars, the stabbing intifada. But you don't seem to have mentioned that. I wonder why you haven't mentioned that flagrant incitement by Abu Mazen. And also, hang on, and also, Mr. Cadman, you're mistaken about Article 8, of course, because Article 8 was drafted after the Second World War. This is the article about moving of population, and it was in reference to Germany and Russia, who had forcibly moved civilian populations after they had taken over territory, forcibly. And that is the important word, by force. And Article 8 specifically mentions by force. Nobody has been forced to move into Judea and Samaria. They have moved there of their own accord. There's no question of force. So you're quite welcome to take the case to the International Court, Mr. Cadman, but you will be sent away without anything at all. So those are my two questions. Why have you not mentioned the incitement, the flagrant incitement by Abu Mazen, who talked about Jews putting their filthy feet on the Temple Mount? And of course, since the Hebron massacres in 1928, we've had this incitement about Al-Aqsa. Every few years there's incitement. This is nothing new. Look back in history. Ilan Pape knows about history. And the second question is about the Rome Statute. Now, Ilan Pape, you can come here and talk about Israeli exceptionalism, but you will get responded to. You didn't get responded to in Exeter when you had your £250,000 conference, did you? £250,000 of public money went into that conference that incited hate against Israel. £250,000. Thank you.
I asked you ask a question. Don't lecture, ask your question. Don't give us lectures.
Okay.
Nothing I've said is untrue, Carl.
If everybody can remain calm, and I will
we are calm. Don't worry.
We went through worse. We really went through worse.
I asked two questions.
Make a statement.
I asked two questions, Carl.
One
One was about the Rome. One was about the Geneva Convention, Article 8. The second one was about the flagrant incitement by Abu Mazen, who talked about Jews putting their filthy feet on the Temple Mount.
And those questions will be addressed.
And there's been no change in the status quo. Jews are not even allowed to pray on the Temple Mount. No change whatsoever in the status quo, Carl.
Are you going to allow those questions to be addressed?
I am, but I'd like some truth.
Thank you. Then if you would please allow those questions to be addressed.
Ilan talked about the lunatic fringe. We've heard all about the lunatic fringe. We've heard from the lunatic fringe.
Ladies and gentlemen, the whole point of me inviting questions from the floor was that questions could be asked.
Let's hear the answer.
Answered. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Cadman, those two questions have been addressed to you, specifically the one concerning the Rome Statute. Perhaps you'd be good enough to answer them.
I'll answer the incitement question first. Not once have I ever said, and nor will I ever say, that the ICC should only investigate and prosecute one side. I've never made that point, and I actually said it at the end of my short presentation that the ICC will have to look, and it should look, at crimes committed by any person. So please don't suggest that I'm ignoring crimes committed on the other side, because crimes have been committed on all sides. And it's important that the ICC is given the opportunity to properly investigate those matters and to decide what matters should be brought before the court. Concerning the voluntary transfer, again, that's going to be a question that the ICC is going to have to answer based on the evidence that's presented, whether the evidence supports a charge being brought, whether that's prosecuted under Article 8 as a war crime or Article 7 as a crime against humanity. That is a question of evidence that will need to be presented that substantiates that charge. Of course, the argument will be raised on one side that it was forcible, and on the other side that it was voluntary. That is a defence that any potential Israeli defendant will be able to mount, and should be able to mount in a fair judicial process. No one is suggesting that this is a clear-cut situation and that it should focus on one side. It's important that the ICC is given the opportunity to do this fairly and equally.
Okay. Thank you.
The other panel members, Abu Mazen, putting your filthy feet, Jews shouldn't put their filthy feet on the Temple Mount.
Okay, well, look,
let's hear your comments about that incitement.
Well, look, my position is quite clear, and I would follow the position outlined.
You're the chairman.
You've asked me, do you want me to
No, the
address
panel
it or not?
members.
Thank you.
Yes, maybe I would like to comment on this point. May I?
Absolutely.
Actually, we are not here to defend or to talk about specific person here and there. And maybe the statement which made our friend here angry isn't worth any statement beside the Israeli statement. I don't know whether he heard about many of his ministers of the Israeli government and the head of governments of Israel, who not just maybe incited against Palestinians, but they have been killing, destroying, demolishing, and they have not left anything for Palestinians to talk about.
I don't. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Can you answer the question?
I'm reluctant
Yeah.
to talk across you. However,
Yeah.
I challenged audience members on the basis that they should ask questions and not make statements. So,
Well,
in the
just commented
in
on it.
the interest of parity, I must also do the same to you.
Yeah, but not-
And a specific question was asked.
just to mention
and
for
if you
him.
could answer
Abu
one
Mazen,
question,
Jews shouldn't put their filthy feet on the Temple Mount. Was that incitement or not?
Abu Mazen, he can respond for you. If you want to approach
you
him, you
respond?
can. But
Do you think it was incitement?
The real incitement coming from the Israeli government,
You won't answer
who
the question.
always on daily
You won't-
basis
you
killing
won't
and
answer the
inciting
question, will you?
Palestinians.
We're going around in circles.
won't answer the question.
I've allowed the opportunity, so I would ask that the microphone be passed down.
Ilan, answer the question. Was it incitement or not? Jews shouldn't put their filthy feet on the Temple Mount.
Keep quiet now.
Come on, Ilan, answer.
You made your point, otherwise you will be out.
Come on, answer, Ilan.
In time
He answered your question.
in time of
He
trial.
answered your question. Keep quiet now.
Sorry, I haven't had an answer to my question. I haven't had an answer to my question.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Shut up and listen to the answer your question.
I am.
Come on, Ilan.
I will make one further comment, and that is that if there is any further outburst from any party, I will bring this conference to a close, and I will.
That's good.
And I say that to any party, regardless of where your loyalties or affiliations may be. Allow the question to be answered. Thank you.
Thank you. I think I didn't hear Abu Mazen say this, but if he did, I think it's a very bad choice of words. He's 8 years old. He's under pressure to show his own electorate that he's doing something and not only submitting day after day to Israeli dictates. And I think that, as I believe you, that this is what he said, that this was an outcome of his dire situation. He is losing the confidence of the people, his own people, who are unwilling to go through another generation of occupation and oppression. This has led to an uprising, and he is in trouble. And I suppose that that's part of what brought this unfortunate. I don't think it's a good sentence. Whether it's incitement or not, I don't know. I'm not a legal expert. You can try and bring him to court. I have many issues with Abu Mazen. This is, for me, not his worst crime. And secondly, I would just say, and with this I would end, anybody who knows the young people in Jerusalem who cannot get enough. There's not enough room in the schools, who are unemployed, who are born into an occupation and don't know any other reality, understand that they don't need incitement to take fate in their own hands. People who are colonized and occupied do resort to violence, quite often as a last resort, out of desperation, and this is what's happening. There's really no need to incite anyone. Thank you.
Killing old women, stabbing old women is okay then?
How many have been killed from our Palestinians? Can we talk about that?
Stabbing an old woman in the
Rather
back.
than make tit
Is
for
that how you
tat
explain
comments,
it, Ilan? Stabbing an old woman in the back because of incitement is going
rather than continue to make tit for tat comments, another question. Sir.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't come here to hear lectures. Morning, Yasin from a think tank.